This is the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, former TNA X Division champion and former TNA World Tag Team champion, and you are listening to the TNA Cross the Line podcast. Enjoy.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 297 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I'm Bob Colling Jr. With me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. And we are coming off of Sacrifice 2007, where we have a new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Because on the last show, Kurt Angle walked out as the new NWA World Champion, defeating Christian Cage and Sting. And we have a whole other bunch of stuff to talk about regarding the pay-per-view, and we're going to go through the Meltzer notes and all that stuff. But you know what, folks? Just like TNA, the company, this podcast will not die. And you may be wondering, Bob, what are you talking about? Well, here's the little thing. Okay, we're gonna pull the curtains back a little bit. Dallas and I have been using Skype to record for the better part of 5 years. Roughly. Almost 5 years. And the bastards at Microsoft decided we're shutting down Skype, a free video call and video recording service that had been around for I don't even know how long. At least a decade. Longer than that, probably. And they decided, you know what? Screw you guys. You got to go sign up for Teams, where you can only record up to an hour. No. We record way more than that on this show. Sacrifice itself was almost 3 hours. So we're scrambling. We're looking. There's nothing that's free. Because we're cheap. Okay? We ain't paying no $100 a year.
No.
We're $120 a year. We're $140 a year. No, buddy. We want zilch. We want free. And it took us maybe about 20 minutes. And did the Syracuse graduate come up with the idea? No. Did a community college dropout do it? Yes. That's right, folks. Good old Bob figured something out. And our friends at Discord, you can do it through Discord. And we have a bot with us named Craig, who's recording us right now.
Yeah, so I'd like to welcome Craig to the show. Craig,
he won't say nothing.
No, he's just a bear with a microphone.
Right. And according to what we've learned from looking up the app, is that Craig will record us for up to 6 hours. Per recording. Not a month. Per recording. So we should be fine.
Let's just say that Slammiversary episode that's coming up in a few weeks. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
6 hours. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it twice.
Twice. Not that we haven't done that before.
And that has happened.
And it was an anniversary show.
I was gonna ask. I think we have done like a pay-per-view more than once too.
No, we haven't done. We did. It was a weekly.
Did we?
It was the first anniversary show because it was a cage.
Yeah, but those weekly pay-per-views are 2 hours solid, so it's close enough.
Right? Yeah, I know. But I'm saying like the monthlies, we haven't had to do a second.
Don't jinx us.
Listen.
The overlords at Microsoft, they can have Skype. We got fucking Craig in Discord now. I've never felt better. I literally was here like, I think it's over. Just like when Bob got hit by a car and he didn't want to record with me. I thought it was done. I thought it was it. But guys, we're back. We are hard to kill. Bob is making a sacrifice to be here.
Yeah, but you know
And
what? We got on that victory road and we found our bound for glory. And there's this is a turning point
and
for the podcast.
we've really fought against all odds.
Right. And I mean, Discord is basically our final resolution to figuring this out. But here we are. We reached our destination X to continue the podcast. And I'm locked down doing this for the rest of my life.
Holy
So
shit.
I guess you know what? Listen. For all this shit I've ever put you through, this is your hard justice towards me. Okay.
Ooh.
So,
well,
but here's the thing: I'm unbreakable. Okay, there's no surrender in me. I will keep going and going and going until there's nowhere else for me to go. I'm stuck here doing this for the rest of my life.
Well, there's a big one you're missing, but it's fine. I was really hoping you were going to slide it in there.
What is
It's
it?
Genesis.
Okay, Genesis is the beginning. This is my new. This is the genesis of my life now for this podcast. I'm rebirthed.
I like that. That's good. I actually was going to just turn it into a transition of the podcast description and say, well, on that note, let's continue talking about the genesis of TNA wrestling.
I don't think I even would have thought it. I was going through my head. In my head, I was like trying to go through all the ones. And
I didn't think you were going to do hard justice, to be honest. So that was good.
That was
the Destination Next one, dude. That's pretty good. Normally, I wouldn't name an episode after things that don't happen on the show. And listen, I don't know what's happening on the show yet necessarily. Craig might get a shout out in the title. I don't know yet. We'll see.
No, don't do that.
You never know.
You could do it in the description, I guess, but I wouldn't put it in the title.
Bob Colling. No, I probably won't. Bob Colling Jr. and Dale Gridley are joined by Craig.
Yeah, and then in parentheses, Discord bot.
Who's the third man? Okay.
Craig.
It's been a wild. As Bob said, 20 minutes. I honestly think it was at least a half hour, but it doesn't matter. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're probably right. Yeah.
It might even be more than that. I don't know. But to be fair, usually before we hit the record button, we are on here for 30 minutes. And then usually I stop and I get told, wow, you guys went long tonight. And I was like, we talked. So.
Oh, yeah, that's from his fiance.
Yeah. So anyways, that all being said.
There's nobody in my life that asks me that because I'm a lonely man.
Jesus. And that is hardcore justice for him.
This is bullshit, man.
Or something.
This is a sacrifice I make for you, where I'm just like, you know what? I am not going to be in a relationship because I'm sure that any girlfriend of mine would be locking me down and being like, you cannot be doing a podcast for that long.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I wouldn't blame him.
You'd be like, today's our Slammiversary. You can't fucking be recording.
I guess that's so anyway, speaking of sacrifices, we just watched Sacrifice. It was a pretty freaking good show, dude. It
was a pretty solid show, and then I read the review, the ratings at least that Larry Zonka did, and then he had fan feedback, and the one guy had a complete meltdown and said that it was the worst show he's ever seen in his life, and he can't give TNA any more chances.
Yeah.
Of all the shows to have watched, this is your breaking point. A good show.
A good show, and arguably one of the best top to bottom monthly pay-per-views in a while. I mean, we've seen some good ones and good matches, but like top to bottom, there was like a stinker on the show.
Yeah, and I mean, I really don't like talking about Damage and bash him like that.
Oh, well, we're going to talk more about him here in just a few minutes, but
I feel like I'm putting the blame on Kip. That.
See, you say that, but my knowledge of Damage and Basham is I don't give a shit about him. So, if there was a time to try to prove themselves, I mean, Kip didn't do him any favors, that's for sure. But
I like Danny and Doug.
Damage.
Get
It
right.
I'm gonna damage him.
Okay.
So me and Bob give it a thumbs up. We like the show. Solid.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Bob, what do you think the Wrestling Observer newsletter readers thought about this one? A thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle.
I feel like they have to say thumbs up.
Yeah, 79.3% gave it a thumbs up. Only 6.5% gave it a thumbs down, and 14.1% were in the middle. And the breakdown of that for you is 73 votes were up, 6 people said thumbs down, and 13 were in the middle.
Yep.
So a very majority positive show there.
That
Now, as
checks
far as
out.
the best match on the show, we had a favorite. Do you think the Wrestling Observer readers thought the same?
They have to, right? There's no way that there's anything.
And we're talking about
close.
Chris Harris versus James Storm in the Texas Death Match. And yeah, Bob, the answer to that is it's yes. Yeah, it's that one. It being, how could it not be? Now, there's 2 other matches that got voted on as the best match with less than half the votes. So AJ Styles and Samoa Joe was up next. And then in the 3rd spot was Chris Sabin versus Sonjay Dutt versus Jay Lethal, which was the X Division title match. And the breakdown of those is 56 votes, 23 votes, and 12 votes, respectively. As far as the
only thing I can think of for that is that they didn't like the blood. The people that voted that way.
Oh, okay. I could understand that.
That's crazy, because that was really good. I mean, I know I said 4 initially, and then you were talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, no, he's right."
I was feeling it in my gut.
Here's the thing. I actually was thinking about this earlier. Is that technically the first 5-star match we gave that's not that's a singles match?
I think so. I mean, so we've only been keeping our full track of since 2007 started.
All right.
But that being said, to me,
it's true.
It probably is. I think one of the Angle Joe ones. I bet you, if we were keeping track, we probably would have ended up giving the second match, if not 5, wicked close to it.
No, I wasn't anywhere near 5 for those.
You weren't?
Not for. I don't think for any of them. I don't think so.
I don't know. I really liked that second one specifically, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a 5.
That's fair.
I don't think it was.
I don't know. Maybe we need to rewatch them. Bonus episode.
No.
Bonus episode of a match we watched 6 months
ago. The only thing I mean, obviously, like the Unbreakable 3-way would be a 5. That's a triple threat. And then like AMW and Triple X, but obviously that's a tag team.
Right. I was gonna say that one to me feels like it's probably a 5-star match too.
Right. So I'm trying. I don't know. I mean, to even try to think of all the matches for the Asylum, that's just a tough. That's a tough task.
I mean, it's gonna
yeah. I don't know. Maybe like one of the Jerry and AJ matches from early on I would have gotten there for a 5.
Some of those are really good. No, you're right.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
I don't know.
We'll just have to start over.
No, absolutely.
Well, I don't think I really need to ask you what was voted on as the worst match, do I? Because we already kind of said it. It was Damage and Basham versus Kip James. 83 people voted that. So, that all being said, we have the breakdown there. Lots of fun. We are going to get into the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and we will compare them to our votes during the show as well. I technically have one note I'm going to read first. Now, Bob, I'm going to preface this with saying, if you are a listener who really doesn't want to be spoiled, there's a chance I could slip up. I tried to cut out stuff that is a spoiler, but I might slip up. And Bob, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as I read this first thing here.
Oh,
no. So the
if I think you're getting dangerously close to a potential spoiler, I'll cut you off.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's kind of major, but so we've talked about the rumors for a while, right? That the NWA is splitting ways with TNA. So According to the May 21st, 2007 Wrestling Observer newsletter, the official documents breaking up the 5-year relationship between the National Wrestling Alliance and TNA were signed on May 11th. And essentially, they got to stop using the titles. That's kind of where we're at. Now, if that date sounds weird to you, as a reminder, Sacrifice is May 13th.
Right.
It was 2 days after they signed the papers.
So they use the titles when they're not supposed to use the titles?
Yes and no. So, now, as noted previously, NWA president and attorney, I don't know how to say his last name properly, Bob Trobish, something like that. He claimed that TNA had breached its contract for the belts with the Alliance and told TNA that he was taking the belts back, with both sides agreeing on the May 14th deadline. So technically, we were good for Sacrifice. Now, I can't...
Okay.
let me see. This taping...
So we're going to have new titles on this show then?
Theoretically, right? This taping that we were watching, this is the May 17th, 2007 episode, is taking place on May 14th. So theoretically, we should get some answers pretty quickly.
So here's the thing. Maybe technically they could still use it because it's May 14th that they're recording it.
They could, and there's technically 2 episodes they record.
Oh shit.
So this is where it gets a little bit weird, and it's hard to I felt like this still had to be said before, but it's walking the line of stuff I like to talk about before things happen on TV. But it's almost too much to wait to. So I mean, here it is. Now, interestingly enough, as things currently stand, there's a series of small independent promotions that make up the NWA currently at this time. Perhaps with one major promotion involved, they're going to be creating new singles and tag team champions over the next few months. They plan to be hosting a 16-man singles tournament, tentatively scheduled to start on June 2nd to end in early September, with the biggest names being involved being Bryan Danielson, Brent Albright, Claudio Castagnoli, and Adam Pearce, all ROH wrestlers. Lesser-known independent wrestlers Damian Wayne will fill out the tournament, which will be marked nationally as, they're calling this, Reclaiming the Glory, NWA World Title Tournament. This will be on DVD distributed by Big Vision Entertainment, which will be a major partner in the attempt to market the NWA name. It's also noted that even though Gabe Sapolsky told us that he didn't think Danielson would be winning the title, since he is now signed to ROH and the NWA has given its contract with Danielson to be touring champion, he's still the current pick to actually end up winning it. So,
and I think he should. I think he'd be a really good NWA champion.
I think it makes, especially at the time, that definitely could work, I think. Yeah. Now, there's also preliminary talks of doing a one-night 4-team tag team tournament to crown NWA champions on the show. And here are the teams that they're proposing. The NWA is going to be proposing Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens.
I knew it. I was going to say the Naturals.
Yep, and just hold that thought right now, too. A team of Incognito and, oh boy, I don't know if I could say this one. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't even know how to say this one, dude. Normally I don't do that, but El Psicodelico Jr. Oh god, that was bad.
That's pretty close to me.
Yeah, I don't know. A Japanese team of Inoki's choosing, and one more team, possibly Carl Anderson and Joey Ryan. Although that is only in early discussion stages, so it's not official yet.
Okay.
So. That's some major news to kick us off. Actually, I'm gonna.
I think the Naturals will win the tag titles.
Yeah, I think that works for me. I like.
How
that.
do you not do it?
I do not. Actually, well, here. You know what? I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, Bob. I'm gonna tell you our other pre-show notes, and then we're gonna talk about Sacrifice, and then we're just gonna get right into it. I think that's a good way to do it today, especially because we had such big news right there to kick us off. And I'm going to start you off with a big one, because Andy Douglas and Chase Stevens were both given their release from TNA. which it fucking is brutal, dude. When I read this is brutal. Now, Dave notes that this wasn't a surprise, as they weren't being used, and the booking committee wasn't likely to give them another shot. The feeling is that they had good matches years ago with AMW in Nashville, but never got over in Orlando, despite several gimmick changes. They didn't do themselves any favors when they refused to get a haircut for the new look in the Shane Douglas's newly franchised Naturals gimmick, and also it went nowhere. They did a split, but Shane Douglas hasn't been used as an agent, and his name is never even mentioned ever anymore, since he passed out at a taping. At best, all they were going to be used for was job duty on television, and they could get local guys and pay them a lot less to perform the same role. So it is official, Bob. We haven't seen them in a decent amount of time at this point, but the Naturals are done.
So a couple things. Number one, they did get haircuts.
They did sort of get haircuts, yes.
They did.
You're
end up
right.
getting
You're
a
right.
haircut. So let's cut them some slack here. Number two, pretty sure Shane went to rehab, so he's bettering himself.
And I think that was before he ended up appearing again. But
Yeah, I think you're right. And then, I mean, they kind of see. Now I'm about to say, it's like with the association with Candido, 2005. I feel like they were getting over, but that might have been because of Candido.
it's true.
I don't know.
I don't know. Do we really not think that they were over at all in Orlando? I definitely think they were over more in Nashville.
They were definitely over in Nashville.
But to say that they never got over in Orlando, I don't know if that's accurate or not.
I think.
But to be fair, they fucking killed them when they put them with Shane Douglas.
Oh, that was bad.
If they left them as the Naturals and did their own thing, I guarantee it would have been better.
I think that if they had given them a backbone when they were with Shane Douglas, I think it would have helped them. But when they kind of just became whipping boys and they just took it,
yes,
and they still lost.
Yep,
that's pretty bad. I want to say, like in Orlando, I want to say they got over both with Candido and then after his unfortunate passing, that they kind of got over, but that might have been in a way of like exploiting the death of Candido.
right.
Like they got a tag team title run out of that.
And I do think that. I think that's the case. I think they did.
I think that might be part of it too. But I don't want it to be I don't know. I don't like this like the potential narrative of like, oh hey, they weren't good or something. Like
I like the Naturals a lot.
They are an enjoyable tag team to even go back and watch now. And I've said it before. I'll give out a shout out to Brian Turner, VHS Rehab channel.
Mm-hmm.
There is some very good Chase Stevens singles matches that I don't think I ever would have even thought about previously. And I want to say there's several matches on there with Andy Douglas post their TNA run that I have not watched yet, but I thought about doing a little series on. And I mean, I don't know. I can't say those are good or bad, but Chase Stevens, I think, is out of the two is the more underrated, probably more like I'd probably enjoy him more than Andy. But no, the Naturals as a team were very good. Their feud with AMW, certainly in the Nashville days, was a bright spot in middle of 2004, like in the transition time of going to Orlando as well.
Yep.
And I think you kind of can notice that when they were splitting it between Nashville and Orlando, that the Naturals primarily were in Nashville.
That's a good point. Yeah, I think you're right about that, actually.
Yeah, so
if I remember correctly, but I'm definitely disappointed.
It sucks. I mean, they're I mean, Chase was a hot shot.
Dude,
Packing
they
heat,
had
dude.
they had something in their pants.
He had a wiener, big wiener. He
Something.
had a hog. That was the gimmick. He had a big ass.
Yes, the hot shots.
Which, you know what? They should have feuded with Too Cool Scorpio, and he could have been like, I don't need to stuff my pants. Look at this sucker. Got an elephant trunk.
I just heard an interview. Was it who fought Scorpio? And they did this. I think it was on Hey EW. But they said they got a leg drop, and then the third leg came down and hit him too.
I believe that. I remember going through my magazines. Right, there was one magazine up and through, and my ex-girlfriend at the time, Carly. Shout out Carly.
Oh, we're dropping names. Okay.
Who cares? She's married now, not to me, and she has a kid, not mine. Anyway.
Okay, keep going.
So we were swiping. I was swiping through the magazine, and I must have been like reading something that had Too Cold Scorpio like on the page, and she was like, "Holy shit!" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You can see the outline of his penis. It's like almost going down to his knee." I was like, "What?"
It was Willie Mack. That's who said it.
Willie Mack. Okay. So then I'm looking at the photo, and it's like, sure as shit, it's like almost to his knee.
Yeah, more power to him, man.
His inner thigh for sure. It was like going down. I was like, holy fuck. And I've tried to find that picture again, and I don't know which magazine it is because I have 1,300 of them.
We can't find it.
I was gonna post it on my Instagram story and be like, "What a hog," and then I didn't.
Oh my god. Anyway, moving on.
I strive to be fucking Too Cool Scorpio.
Right? Yeah, we all do.
But I ain't.
Next up, Jackie Moore had a root canal done on May 8th after some of her teeth were knocked out from the street fight that she had with Gail Kim on the April 30th tapings. That actually aired on May 3rd.
You did what?
She had a root canal because her teeth were knocked out. One of the broken teeth started pressing on a nerve in her gum. The teeth were knocked out not at the finish with the kicking of the chair into her face, but in the spot where Gail Kim put the garbage can over her head and started swinging at it with a broomstick into the garbage can. A shot hit her right in the mouth and 2 teeth flew out. She didn't panic and she just continued the match. And unfortunately for her, they could not save the teeth. So, poor Jackie Moore. He had her teeth knocked out and now has fake teeth in her mouth.
Well, you know what? At least she didn't.
Well, she didn't what? Oh, we may have just. Oh, Bob's back. This is our first issue with our new recording software.
What did I do? I didn't do anything.
That's okay. You're here. You said Jackie. At least she didn't do what? You cut out right then.
She didn't freak out, so that's a positive.
That's right.
That's all I was saying. I would have freaked out.
Oh, me too, dude. I would have not been happy. But she's a pro.
She's a vet.
That's right. I got 2 more, and then we're gonna head into our sacrifice stuff here. There's a ton of complaining from the undercard wrestlers regarding the ban on them going to ROH, PWG, and UWA. We've talked a lot about the morale recently, taking a major turn for the worse months back when they stopped paying for the hotel rooms, the ground transportation, and the guys at the bottom are, of course, the ones going to be getting hit the hardest. And then they get regular dates taken away with no way to make up the money. Now, there's also the frustration of no matter how good you perform, there's very limited upward mobility, and the guys losing indie dates are the ones who are stuck in the same position no matter how hard they work or how much the crowd reacts to them. Another complaint is that nobody understands the Bob Backlund deal and why they have to have him as the focal point in matches and angles, and they have to put him over and run from him even though he's 58 years old and probably only good for 1 or 2 matches. So they're pretty upset about that. Also, apparently, the company has cut down on flight expenses, so they're booking on like cheap airlines like Southwest. So we're just cutting costs everywhere.
There's nothing wrong with that. If I have to go on a cheaper flight to keep my job, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not my money.
I guess that's true. Okay, final note before Sacrifice, Bob. TNA Impact on the May 10th. So this is the one right before Sacrifice, the go home episode. It drew a 1.01 rating and a 1.2 million viewers. It was a 0.87 in males 18 to 34 and a 0.79 in males 35 to 49. And segment by segment, saw the open with Steiner versus Devon versus Homicide open at a 0.99. Hemi and VKM arguing behind the scenes and in front of the fans. In the beginning of the Sabin and Shelley versus Dutt Lethal gained 23,000 viewers. And the rest of the match, plus the Christian Angle Sting three-way interview spot, grew 46,000 viewers. The Joe and Rhino and Harris versus Storm Daniels and Styles match lost 34,000 viewers. So, pretty fun. I always like hearing the breakdown and seeing what happened when.
I like the I like finding out, who drew and like where people left.
Yeah.
Although part
so
of me
do I.
thinks it's like completely random.
So do I, to a degree. Because it's like, what if they're just tired during that time? Or something? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how much it is really like, I don't want to watch Petey Williams or something. More than it's
Right.
like, I went to commercial, so I'm just gonna go watch something else and then come back and Petey's not on anymore. Like that type of stuff.
Right. Okay. Bob, let's get into this. Let's talk about Sacrifice. A very good pay-per-view. I'm excited to do our comparisons with our star ratings. Dave, as always, has a couple things to say before we get into the match-by-match breakdown. And actually, he starts by saying there isn't a lot to say about TNA Sacrifice pay-per-view on May 13th, other than preliminary indications are that very few people ordered the show, and it was a hell of a show to miss. He says, I don't know if it was quite the level of Backlash. Now, I don't have the Backlash card up right now, but it wasn't far off. Now, from a wrestling standpoint, there's nothing negative that can be said except one short match, wasn't much, and the finish and post-match of the Rhino versus Christopher Daniels drove him crazy, and we'll get into that. Actually, we'll talk about it a little bit right now, because it's his next line. So in that one, Daniels pinned Rhino after the baseball shot to the head. Literally seconds later, Rhino was up and chasing Daniels to the back. Daniels came back out bloodied, and Rhino was doing no selling whatsoever. If they wanted to do the post-match deal for Rhino to get his heat back, although by that point in the show, they made 3 straight bouts where they were doing it in, and for the night, they did it in 6 matches. He said he should have won with his feet on the ropes or another cheap finish. The idea an all-out baseball bat shot to the head isn't even sold after the pinfall, meant nothing, is way beyond fathomable, even with the highest level of creative license. Dave says, I probably hated that Rhino comeback more than about anything all year this promotion has done. He's very upset.
Well, now, didn't we note at one point, we were like, oh, wow, the heels can't get any momentum because they're always getting beat up.
Yeah, and that was, this was the third match. I think it's the third match in a row they did it, really. Like, it was one after another. This is pretty wild. Yeah. Now, aside from that, Dave says that it was one good match after another, and several of the matches were excellent. There was a less of the usual outside interference, but they went way too heavy on post-match brawls to the point that they got redundant pretty quickly. There you go. All of the finishes were relatively clean, other than a convoluted main event finish where they went off the air with Kurt Angle as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And then I'm going to fast forward a little bit. They announced Angle as the winner of the champion on the last day that the belt would have the NWA name. Now, this is where it gets a little bit weird again, right? So, Bob Trovish of the NWA, before the show started, before Sacrifice started, Bob, made the announcement, now not on air, obviously, but it was as a press release, that the belt has been held up. So, Angle will never get to be the NWA champion after all. Although that probably doesn't mean a whole lot, Dave notes. If they hadn't have done that, the double submission finish on television to lead up to being a 3-way, the unique finish here would have come across as a creative as opposed to cheesy. So we are in quite the situation with the NWA title. I also find it very fascinating that this is still a thing that could have happened in 2007, where it's like the NWA is just like, you know what, you're not our champion.
So the title's vacant.
I mean, yes? Question mark? I guess I don't know. Right? It's very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no champion. It's held up.
And Kurt Angle technically
So-
did not win the title, is what they're saying.
What do you mean you didn't win the title?
Well, the NWA announced we held up the title before the pay-per-view even went on air. So technically,
Oh my. Okay, yeah, technically,
that's
but
what I mean.
we saw him win.
Technically, he did not win the NWA title.
No, dude. Okay.
That's what I mean.
They don't.
How is this a
because
thing?
they don't recognize it.
Correct. They held up the titles before the pay-per-view via a press release.
Right, but still TNA.
You don't. So that's I don't
Did.
know. That's the thing that I don't know if I get. Well, listen, I'm hoping we will find out answers very soon into this episode we're about to get watching.
So here's the thing. Okay, I am acknowledging Kurt Angle as the NWA World Champion because that's what he is.
He held it up at the end of the show.
Right. Now, they can send out a press release to, 10 people or whatever, whoever cares about the NWA
Well,
itself.
that's what I mean.
So that doesn't matter to me. He's the NWA champion. He won it. That's what he is. Now, if they come on TV and they're like, oh, by the way, we separated from the NWA, TNA is going to have their own title, then it's a vacant belt. But Kurt is or was the NWA World Champion. That's just how it is.
I don't disagree with that. We will hopefully find out more.
They can vacate it or hold it up or whatever. But the fact is that he was the NWA champion, and I know that they held it up before the show, but no, it was never addressed on television, so that doesn't count.
Well, right. I mean, that's true. Now, we know, of course, we've already talked about it. The show stealer. It was a Texas death match with Chris Harris versus James Storm, which turned into one of the bloodiest matches in many years. The two took a tough concept as far as modern fans. The death match idea where you hit the frequent pins and then the 10 counts to get up doesn't play as well as it did in the past. But they made it work because the pins weren't easy nor frequent, and they worked a lot of near falls into it. I agree with that, honestly. I don't like the 10 count, the pin 10 count thing. It slows the match down. We talked about it during the pay-per-view.
No, I get that, but the sentence of this stipulation is tough for the modern audience. Come on.
I don't know. I don't disagree with that. I see what he means. You don't think it's tough?
No, I don't. I think it's pretty simple, really.
All right.
Yeah, okay. What's so hard about this? I don't understand.
It just slows it down, I feel like. Not that it's hard to understand, but
what slows down?
You got to pin him, and you got to do a pin and then a 10 count.
Just like a double down.
Well, I guess, but that's not for the finish of a match.
Are double downs not? Is that tough for the modern?
It's sometimes
audience?
tough for modern fans.
A double down
could be.
Okay.
Anyway.
No,
Bob. Here we go. You like Texas death matches?
Yeah, why not?
Come on, dude.
I get the whole point of it's okay. It's really not that much different than a last man standing, in the sense the only difference is that there's a pin.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. So
that's 3-second discount on taken away from it, though. That's 3 seconds.
Right. So here's the thing with that, right? I wouldn't be opposed to there being a situation where you count from 3. So you go 1, 2, 3, then you go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. instead of restarting the count.
Yeah.
But then I guess it doesn't sound as good if you're like, I beat you for an additional 7 seconds.
Right. Right.
I don't know.
Like, who cares? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They did it really well. That's what matters here.
Yeah.
And Dave notes that almost as strong was the opener between Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, and Sonjay Dutt for the X Division title. That literally
almost as strong as the Texas Death Match?
That's what he says. I disagree with this. I'm just reading what he wrote.
No.
He says it literally tore the house down.
Oh, no, he did not.
And that you rarely see an opening match this good.
He did not. He said that for real?
Yes, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
It's a good... Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Dude. It's a good match, but give me a break.
You wait until we do our rating comparison, okay? Because I feel like
if this okay, hang on a minute. Now we both gave the Texas Death Match 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dave does not give that 5 stars because he's only ever given one match 5 stars up to this point. One match 5 stars,
right.
And we've already watched it. I'm gonna guess that he only gave it 4. Storm and Harris. If he gives, there's no way he gives that 3. He said almost. Okay, so it's got to be probably 3.5.
Hold on to that.
For the okay, sorry, go ahead. Triple.
I'm almost there. We're almost there.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, oh my god. So he notes that the underrated match was a 4-way between Senshi, Alex Shelley, Tiger Maks, and Jerry Lynn, which came right after the death match and served as a very different type of entertaining follow-up.
Yeah,
there was no way to tear the house down, but they got the crowd under difficult circumstances. And I'd agree with that as well.
Yeah,
Still,
right.
Everyone following Harris for Storms had it tough. Samoa Joe versus Styles was very good, but with the show running long, largely due to the death match, they had to cut a few minutes, as did the main event. The main event was very good as well, held back only by constraints of time. Angle and Christian both performed well, and Sting wasn't bad. And Sting is 48 years old, working with people doing an athletic style. He points out. So, if it's any surprise to you, Bob, the show drew the usual full house of 900 fans in Orlando. There was no pregame show live, and instead they played a tape of the countdown special that presumably aired on Spike. At least it appeared, because 30 minutes before the show, you had Jeremy Borash and Christy Hemme building up the pay-per-view by saying, "Tomorrow night on pay-per-view," which didn't exactly make the company appear on the ball.
Wait, they were in the ring saying that?
They had like a pre-tape thing. It was like a 30-minute thing building up the show.
Pre-tape. Okay.
And
so on the big screen, they're saying tomorrow night, but they're there that night for the pay-per-view.
Right. Well, so when you go to like the pay-per-view channel and you're waiting that 30 minutes before.
Right.
Yeah, so it aired on Spike.
Okay.
It aired on Spike the night before.
Oh, I gotcha.
So imagine you were like, oh, I can't wait to watch Sacrifice. You go to the pay-per-view channel and they're like, tomorrow on pay-per-view.
Right. But I'm like, I just paid for it.
Right.
Is it tonight or tomorrow? What are we doing?
Yeah, not good. Dave notes that the response level, which has traditionally been close to right on the money when it comes to TNA pay-per-view events, was down 40% from last month's Lockdown show, although Lockdown was also in above usual recent levels. The only reason it wasn't down closer to 45 to 50% is because the positive word of mouth led to more late buys than usual. This one bottomed out, doing as bad as any TNA show in recent memory. Considering the season we are in when it comes to pay-per-view, I think all but the big boys are going to take it heavily on the chin, at least until things revert back to normal levels in mid-July. So, a little bit lower, but hey, so be it. Okay, Bob, it's time. Let's talk about the matches. Quick rundown and star rating comparison here with Dave Meltzer. In the beginning of the show, we've said it like 17 times, but Chris Sabin retained the X Division title in a 3-way over Sonjay Dutt and Jay Lethal in 13 minutes. The Black Machismo deal has already seemed past its peak, Dave says. And then he goes on to say that, funny story, Lethal talked with someone, we kind of talked about this, who supposedly knows Randy Savage and thinks that he spoke with Savage, who gave him the blessing to do the gimmick. However, because so many people can do the impersonation of Savage, he's actually not sure if he was actually pranked. However, Dave notes that the evidence was that he wasn't pranked is that Savage went out of his way to give him advice of saving money, which is the Poffo family trademark. So, kind of an interesting way to be like, oh, that was actually him. But hey.
Yeah, that'd be kind of shitty if somebody pranked him though, like that.
Yeah, it'd be really shitty.
The finish. I almost said wouldn't Lethal have met him, but Savage was there in 2004, and that was not when.
No, yeah,
and not even like the Black Machismo League wouldn't make sense either. So.
Right. The finish of that match saw Dutt and Lethal arguing, which allowed Sabin to pin Dutt after a schoolboy. Post-match saw Dutt and Lethal going at it until Kevin Nash slowly made his way to the ring and broke it up. Unfortunately, Nash being there once again exposed the lack of size because they were in with each other, and that wasn't an issue. Now it looked like the old teacher breaking up the first grader playground fight, and like that, the nasty kid, Dutt, kicked the teacher in the hamstring and left. Anyway, given what they were supposed to be doing and how the crowd reacted, I don't know that they could do a much better match. Dave Meltzer gives this match 4 stars.
Oh my god!
I gave this match 2 3/4, and Bob gave it 3.
4 stars.
I don't think it was a 4-star match.
No, I don't either.
I really don't. I think it was good, but I don't give it a 4 star.
Yeah, it was good. 4 stars. And then here's the thing too, with the comment of like, well, the lack of size because of Kevin.
I hate that.
They listen, Dave. They are X Division wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like watching Nitro and seeing Juventud against Billy Kidman, and fucking Psycho Sid's coming down, and he beats them up, and then you're like, wow, fucking Kidman and Hoovy are fucking small.
They look like shit.
No shit, dude. They're cruiserweights.
I know. Why do you think Kevin Nash got the lawn dart Rey Mysterio?
They're not gonna be fucking 6'8".
It's wild. It's a silly thing to bring up, I think, but
it's so dumb. The lack of size. That's their fucking deal, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, that'd be like saying, Amazing Red, small.
Didn't know.
Yeah, we know. That's why he's like amazing. He's fucking small.
Next up, we saw that before the show started, Damaja and Basham attacked Kip and BG James. Basham threw Kip into a bathroom while Damaja gave BG the brainbuster on
no brain damage.
Brain damage. Sorry, I misread. Yes, he wrote brain damage. That was my slip. On BG
through OVW staple move, dude.
Right, I should have known better. I'm sorry. He did that through a table to BG. Don West explained that BG had been diagnosed with a super severe concussion. It's in quotes, super severe concussion.
Okay.
Next up, Robert Roode pinned Jeff Jarrett in 11 minutes and 21 seconds. Really good match, but this was a kind of 80s Southern style brawling with a little bit of modern flair thrown in. They put this match on early so that Jarrett could get back home to Nashville because of his wife's health. And this is kind of a spoiler for you, Bob, but Jarrett did not even return for TV the next night. Roode attacked Jarrett during his pyro intro. And Jarrett came out second, though, so he just ran to him. But eventually in the match, Jarrett ducked one of the guitar shots from Roode and then put him in the figure 4. Roode kicked Jarrett off and into the exposed metal of the turnbuckle and pinned him after the fisherman suplex, which he calls the, help me, Bob, the payoff. That's what it's called. He says, I sure hope this doesn't mean Jarrett is winning the title. I don't know why he would assume this, but
what?
I don't know either, but he just wrote that. Post-match saw Roode again go for the guitar shot, but Jarrett, I think, leg dropped him and got the figure 4, or leg drived him, whatever he wrote. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He got the figure 4 on him. Brooks came back, grabbed the guitar. She waited forever, teasing that she was going to hit Jarrett, which clearly meant somebody was late on the cue, which was Eric Young, who, before the match, it was said that he wasn't even there. He came in, got the guitar, and put Brooks in the figure 4 as well. This was entertaining from start to finish, even with the overdone ref spots. Dave Meltzer gives this match 3 1/4 stars, and me and Bob both gave it 2.
Okay, so I don't know. That's kind of weird. The comment about hopefully this doesn't mean Jeff was winning the title. What the fuck does that?
I don't
Where
know.
does that come from?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd have a better idea what that meant.
Is he thinking that it's because Jared as a babyface lost, so
he's getting sympathy and stuff?
you won't expect it or something? I don't understand.
Could be. I don't know.
That's crazy though. The landscape isn't like 2003 or 2004. Like there's stars here.
Right.
That supersede Jarrett. Kurt and Sting being two of them, and Christian probably at this point as well.
You could argue that for sure.
Would supersede that. So,
next up, we have Christopher Daniels pinning Rhino in 9 minutes 56 seconds. Daniels came out with a Sting mask and a Sting bat. Fans were doing dueling chants from the start, so they like both of these guys. The one thing negative I have to say about Daniels is that when you compare him and AJ Styles, who are both natural baby faces that the crowd likes, Styles is working so much better as a heel, Dave thinks. The one reaction I had was this was a nicely done match, but that Daniels wasn't doing much to be a heel. The ending saw Daniels on the floor, ref distracted, and he clocked Rhino as he was climbing through the ropes with the baseball bat shot to the head. Baseball bats in wrestling are stupid enough because one shot and that should be it. Well, it was here, but you can't take a bat to the head and have no blood or no selling of a concussion. Then Rhino got right back up after losing. We already kind of talked about this start. Yeah. Daniels came back all bloody. Rhino had a chair. Blah, 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 blah. And they got into the ring. Rhino set up the 2 chairs. Daniels got into position where he was going to do the pile driver at him off the middle rope onto the chairs. Security broke it up. Daniels escaped. The wrestling was good, but that getting up after the bat shot made me hate that match. Dave Meltzer gives this one 2 stars, and me and Bob both gave it a 1.5 stars. So not too far off, really.
Right. So I agree with him about the baseball bat thing. But here's a kind of like a counterpoint, I guess, to it. Our boy Sting has been using a baseball bat at this point for 10 years. And he's hit guys every week on TV, the Nitros and all that stuff. And if he were to hit Buff Bagwell in the ribs, realistically, if you were to hit me in the ribs with a baseball bat, my ribs are broken. And if you were to hit me over the back with that, I'm probably hurt. And then these guys would be back on Thunder in 3 days.
Right.
Perfectly fine.
Maybe he's just not good at hitting people with it.
Well, here's the thing. The difference, though, of course, I think in this situation is that he got hit over the head.
Right.
Blatantly over the head.
Right.
Waffled him with it. And within minutes, Rhino is up, and he's bloody Daniels. Kind of hard to believe that. So I can see how it would take you out of the moment, or the scene or whatever. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Right.
For sure.
Well, next up was Bob's favorite match, and that was Damage and Basham defeating Kip James in a handicap match in 4 minutes and 26 seconds. I'm of course joking, but Bob is obsessed with Damage.
Well, you know
guys,
what?
If you can't tell,
well, it's not just Damage. I like Doug and Danny. I liked them in
we'll
OVW.
See.
I'll
see if I believe it.
Listen, I'll give you a little history here.
Oh God.
On our Discord era. So Danny and Doug, okay, are OVW staples.
Right.
And then I had been reviewing 2002 OVW, and I should probably get back into it.
You should.
Because quite frankly, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, you should.
I should. I have literally all the OVWs from 1999 till 2007 just hanging out on a Blu-ray. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. But it was Damaja, Doug Basham, Victoria. They were known as the Revolution. Okay? Heels. Not bad.
Really, really bad?
I mean, they were bad people.
Yeah,
they were
like
good
bad guys.
wrestlers.
Oh, wow.
Bad guys, yeah. Now, they would have, I think, even before 2002, but I haven't watched any of that. But they would have like some really good matches. And in 2002, they would have good matches with Nick Dinsmore, also known as Eugene, and Rob Conway, also known as Rob Conway. So they would all have good matches, like quite often on TV.
The Rob Conway.
Right. There's Rob Conway OVW, and there's Rob Conway.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, I had to say something because Nick Dinsmore became Eugene, and Rob Conway just became Rob Conway.
I like that. Yeah.
Same guy. That was the joke. Anyway, so I remember, in all seriousness, I remember 13. I had remembered hearing all this buzz about these OVW guys, and it was Danny, Doug, Doug and Damaja, Dinsmore, and Conway. And, at this point, I'm watching Raw and SmackDown pretty regularly. It's only 2002. I haven't, completely fizzled. And technically, I think Rob technically got on TV first because he was associated with La Resistance. And I remember watching the Raw episode where he was, in a military outfit. And I can't remember the exact segment of who. Maybe it was La Resistance confronting them. The Dudley Boys came out. Anyway, he got in the ring, and I remember looking at him, and he had these blonde tips on his hair, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think that's Rob Conway."
That's hilarious.
And I was like, "Oh shit, this guy could be pretty good." Now here's the thing: he turned heel immediately, and he became a French sympathizer. Although I don't think we were necessarily at war with the French, so I don't know.
I mean, you never know.
You never know. I guess who can you really trust? So anyway, and dealing with that, and then I don't really remember Rob having great matches or anything. But then Eugene came around, right? And I remember first time I saw him, I go, "Son of a bitch, that's Nick Dinsmore. He's a really good wrestler." From what I've heard about from OVW. This is a pretty lengthy rambling, but the point. So eventually he had some good matches, whatever. But it was pretty much just the character work of somebody that was disabled and all this stuff. To get where I'm going at here with Doug and Danny. Damaja and Doug arrived, I think, in late 2003. Might be wrong. 2004 for sure. And I was like, these guys are going to be killing it on SmackDown. I thought they would be the next group of guys. Would be SmackDown could be as they said, the SmackDown 6, right, in 2002, where it was your core 6 guys that would always have great matches. I thought Damaja and Doug could fit into that later on. So in 2004,
that's crazy, Bob.
Well, 2004 it would have been Eddie, right? Ray,
Damaja and Doug.
Damaja, Doug,
Stop.
Charlie
right
Haas, and there had to be a 6th, maybe Paul London or something. Some level of those groups of guys could have great matches. Now, here's the unfortunate development.
That is fucking hilarious.
It's the unfortunate developments. Okay. Unfortunate. I remember watching the Basham Brothers, as they would become to be known, and they had Shaniqua, which was Linda Miles. And I can't remember the match, and I'm sure as I'm reviewing these Raws and SmackDowns, I'm only in 2003 right now, so eventually at some point the written part I'll get there. Maybe if I don't die before then. But I remember watching the match, and it might have been something on Velocity even, because I was watching Velocity at that point too. And I just remember watching it, and then the match was over, and I just remember sitting there going that. That's it. There wasn't anything.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
wasn't impressed. I was like, what? And then they win the tag titles and all this shit. But I just wasn't. I guess I was just like, wow, all that hype for nothing. The Pro Wrestling Illustrated articles that would be on them. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. They should be great. It was the same thing in the PWIs when they were like, oh, Reckless Youth is fucking amazing, right? And I'm sitting there going, wow, this guy, why isn't he signed? Why isn't he in ECW or something, right? And then years and years and years and years go by. when I'm now an adult and I can purchase tapes and stuff and I watch a match of Reckless Youth. And now, is he horrible? No, he's not horrible. Is he great? No. Could I see why he wasn't signed? Yes. But these fucking magazines just pick guys, or maybe the promotions paid them to produce a narrative of like, oh, Cheetah Master here in the East Coast Wrestling Alliance is fucking really good. And it turns out he's not that good. That's a real guy, by the way, Cheetah Master. And
Bob,
I thought he was like some fucking crazy great guy, and he just wasn't that good.
Who was the wrestler that we found years ago on the podcast when we were going through the Asylum years? We like found a really funny wrestler name specifically through like going through stuff. I can't remember what his name was now. Damn, I wish I could remember. I'm really upset about this.
There's was a guy named Joe Rules, which was like a notorious fucking name. That he was like Mr. 500. He's Joe Rules, and in the description they're like, you can probably guess what this guy thinks of himself because his name was Joe Rules, and that was like 80% of the description that they gave the guy. It was a little blurb. It was that one sentence, and then like, oh, by the way, he won like the TV title in Pennsylvania one time.
That's awesome.
Joe Rules.
Well, I really like that.
But that long rambling is basically to tell you that my fandom for Doug and Damage is mostly still just for what I thought they had been. Now, in OVW, like as I've said before now, what I've seen in OVW is actually good. Like they are good. What I saw on SmackDown 2 or 3 years later, probably in a more restricted environment, tag team. Well, I guess they were tag team in OVW, but more like time constraints, probably a different type of style they were allowed to work, whatever. Did not translate. And then here we are in TNA.
Right. I think you need to tie me down and like abduct me sometime and make me watch some of this stuff because I'm
sure, you know what? I'm sure there's YouTube videos.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can make myself do it. I need to like you be over your place and be like, you'd be like, dude, we're watching a Damage match. I'm like, okay, fine.
Well, here's the thing. I would not even take that risk unless I've watched it myself.
Well, to be fair, we learned that the hard way. Check it out in the archives. Daniels
That's
versus
true.
AJ Styles, PWG.
Right.
Just saying.
Right.
Okay. Well, moving on. Well, I'm not moving on. I'm still going to talk about the match. Well, BG was
all
hurt.
that still from the Damage.
Yeah. So Damage. BG was hurt, as we just discussed. Kip said that Lance Hoyt's flight was late, and he couldn't be a substitute partner. So that sucks. Match was short and sweet. Damage used the brain damage on James, and then Basham pinned him after the diving headbutt. And we can't have a good match without a good post-match. So they continued to beat on him after. James started a comeback and got beaten down quickly. Or again, sorry. And finally, Hoyt, who 6 minutes earlier wasn't there, suddenly was. Between that and Eric Young, you'd think that they wouldn't do the same gimmick twice in 3 matches. Because Eric Young was supposed to be there either. I didn't even think about that. Dave Meltzer gives this match 1 star. Bob, I gave this one 1 star, and Bob gave it half a star.
I went lower than you on a Damage and Doug match.
You said it first, and I was like, I feel like I don't like to give lower than a star, but I'll give it out when it's needed. And I probably should have, really, but...
Right.
Next up...
Well, I would absolutely not give it a dud.
Well, right. It's almost more insulting that you just said half a star. But, hey, that's fine.
I guess you're right. Yeah,
He ain't listening. Next up...
I hope you're not listening.
No, they aren't.
I'm gonna confirm right now. I do like Doug and Damage.
Right, we know. We just got a 15-minute history lesson. We know.
I'm just saying. In case they do listen to the podcast.
In case they listen. Bob likes them. I don't know if I do, but Bob does.
I enjoy their OVW work. Point blank, period. Anything outside of that, I can have a different conversation. OVW, good.
I respect it. Okay, next up. Chris Harris defeated James Storm in 17 minutes, 14 seconds of a Texas death match. These two had the pressure on them, though it was no fault of their own, having the worst match of the year candidate last month due to the blindfold stipulation in their match being rejected by the fans. The result was an incredible match. They opened up by brawling in the stands. Eventually in the match, Storm came back with a chair shot to the head, and Harris catapulted Storm, who was underneath the table, into it. Storm's head hit the metal structure of the table, and he bled as badly as just about any bleeding in a long time. Storm was bleeding buckets, literally, and the ring was getting soaked with his blood. Eventually, each of them grabbed a beer bottle and went for the shot to the head at the same time, but Harris was a step faster and put Storm down for the pin in 16:48. Theoretically, he then should have had 10 seconds to get up, but it was actually 26 seconds, and he couldn't answer the bell for the fourth fall. So Harris won. This was the kind of match so heated and bloody that I felt sorry for everyone on the rest of the show because you could not follow it. So, as noted before, me and Bob gave this match both 5 stars. Dave Meltzer gives this one 4.25.
That seems low.
I
That's
think
coming
so.
from a guy that originally gave it 4. I mean, that seems low.
Well, and just as a reference point, too, that first match, he gave 4 stars, too. So he is slightly higher, but not... He thinks it's just like a touch better than the X Division title match.
No way.
That's why...
No way.
That's where it's weird. That's okay. Whatever.
There's no way.
Next up...
If he went 4.5...
Feels more reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
4.25. You gave the 3-way 4 stars. If he gave that 3.5 and then that 4.25, okay, I could probably accept that. Yeah, it's not just a quarter bet. Even from just an entertainment value, like entertainment level, because that's really what I use for my ratings. Like, what was I entertained by from a 1 to 5 or whatever? That was entertaining. That was a very entertaining match. The triple threat was entertaining, but I wasn't like, oh my god. Like, there were several times we're watching that match, like, oh fuck, like holy shit, that guy's bleeding buckets.
And the spots and stuff, it was really good.
Yeah, right.
Next up, Jerry Lynn won the 4-way over Shelley, Tiger Maks, and Senshi in 10 minutes 43 seconds. Somehow, by doing a completely different style, they not only followed, but had a hell of a match. They traded one move after another until Shelley went for a hurricane run off the top on Lynn, but Lynn rolled through a sunset flip-like pin. After the match, Sabin ran in, and he and Shelley were beating on Lynn. Bob Backlund then ran in and did 2 single-leg takedowns on Sabin, and then Sabin and Shelley ran off. But Dave Meltzer gives this match 3.5 stars. Me and Bob both gave this 3. Pretty fair. Next up, Team 3D retained the NWA Tag Team titles in a 3-way over Homicide and Hernandez and Tomko and Scott Steiner in 12 minutes 38 seconds. Ray has been heavy since day one, and he moves well for his size, even now into his mid-30s, but he's looking way too heavy now, Dave says. But he's still got up and down, but either he's going to have to get it out of control, or it's going to kill his career by injury or just cosmetic reasons. So Dave is really putting the pressure here on Brother Ray.
Really? Fat.
Yeah, without saying directly that, yeah, that's what he says.
No, he pretty much said he's been overweight since day one.
He's been heavy.
He's been heavy.
Yeah,
not heavy in the sense of like he ain't pulling his punches. He's saying he's fat.
Yeah. Anyway, there's not a whole lot to talk about in this match besides that the crowd is chanting same old shit at people it was fans who didn't like Team 3D were chanting at them, which is kind of funny. The finish ended up seeing Tomko and Steiner double team Ray, but Tomko kicked Steiner when Ray moved, and then Tomko was pinned after the 3D. Post-match saw Steiner and Tomko argue and start fighting until... Do you remember, Bob? The dog-faced gremlin. Rick Steiner hit the ring.
Oh, Rick Steiner.
The pop for Rick Steiner had to be disappointing, it's noted. He gives this tag team title match 3 stars. I gave this 2.5, and Bob gave it 2.
Wow, Dave really enjoyed this show.
Yeah, he did. Second to last match, Samoa Joe pinned AJ Styles, 12 minutes 43 seconds. Not the best match these two have had, but they didn't have the time. Plus, it was late in the show with a lot of good matches. Eventually, Joe was selling like he had a bad knee for a minute, including stumbling as he went to run. Styles took advantage, but the gimmick was Joe was using Styles' fake knee injury gimmick, and he was fine. He then put Styles into the choke, and then took over with a choke suplex for the pin. He gives this one 3.5 stars. Me and Bob both gave it 3 stars.
And then, mind you, on our version, it cut out like the last
So
40 seconds of the match or whatever.
it was not fun. It was very
go
annoying.
to the actual different video thing.
And then finally, the main event, Kurt Angle appeared to win the 3-way in what was billed as the final heavyweight title match, NWA heavyweight title match, in the match over Christian and Sting in 10 minutes 45 seconds. Cage played the role again where he tried to be the instigator of Sting and Angle going after each other. Eventually, Christian gave Sting the low blow and then an unprettier. Sting then caught Christian with a schoolboy, and while doing so, Angle put Sting in the ankle lock. Sting pinned Christian at the same time, but Sting tapped to Angle. They announced and went off the air.
Right.
Yeah. They announced and went off the air with Angle as champion. He gives this match 3.25 stars, and me and Bob both gave this 3 stars.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. I kind of forgot that they did the double tap thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do essentially a pin / some like whatever. Now, I remember going back and like seeing if he tapped first. It looked like as if
it's close.
He did it. Yeah, it looked. But yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
No
but we can't forget too. It was at the bottom, but we have a new TNA mascot, and I'm hoping we'll see him again today. Stomper.
So, Stomper.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. Well, and maybe you cut out for a second, but yeah, that was. Yeah. I was trying to remember his name, and I thought I figured it out by myself, but.
Yep, it's Stomper. So hopefully we'll see him again. But Bob, those are all our pre-show notes. It was a heavy one today, but it was a good show. There's a lot to talk about, and don't you worry, I got more to talk about during the show. But it's finally time to get into it.
Here's the thing: if we see Stomper, it's because there's a wrestler in the outfit, and they're gonna beat somebody up.
That's what I think too, but we'll see.
That's the only way. So, all right. Well, let's do it. Let's watch our first Impact in our Discord recording era, where it's the May 17th, 2007 episode of Impact. We are, mind you, including this week, 5 weeks away from Slammiversary, which typically features the King of the Mountain match. So we will probably hear some kind of game plan from that. But it's the fallout from Sacrifice. So let's see what is going to happen here. The approximate runtime is 42 minutes, 57 seconds. If you want to watch along with us, head over to TNA Plus, or you can find your own personal collection. That will do the trick as well. I count down from 3. When I say play, that's when the watch along begins. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
TNA, we are wrestling. I'm assuming we're going to see some Sacrifice. Yeah. I have explosion notes from this taping for you, Bob. 2 matches were taped. The first one airs on May 21st, 2007, where Senshi defeated Homicide. And then the second one, from Explosion 189, airs on May 28th, 2007. And it was Eric Young and Petey Williams defeating the Murder City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
That's interesting. You know what is also interesting is that the UWF had 2 house shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I figured I might as well just do this now.
Yeah, why not? I don't even know if I saw that in my observer notes.
You probably didn't. So the first one, the fucking second one isn't loading. Anyway, the first one was on May 11th in Mooresville, North Carolina. And it featured Bobby Houston defeating Damian Wayne and Jake Manning in a 3-way. C.W. Anderson and Steve Corino defeated Team Mackinton, which is Kirby and TJ Mack. Chris Harris teamed up with Gail Kim to defeat Jackie Moore and James Storm in a mixed tag. This is an interesting match right here. David Flair with Daphne defeated Dustin Rhodes. Raven. That's right. David Flair beat Dustin Rhodes on one of these shows.
Whoa.
Raven defeated Jerry Lynn. And in the main event, D'Lo Brown teamed up with Kishi, who is Rikishi, defeating the Diamonds in the Rough, which was David Young and Elix Skipper. Now, if the night 2 part here would load, I could then tell you what happened on May 12th. But for some reason, this shit does not want to load. Oh, Kurt's opening the show. The new NWA World Champion.
And they're saying we're going to talk about that situation from the way the show ended. Now, there was a highlight package of Kurt Angle saying, no one is going to take this from me. This is why I'm here. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what Kurt Angle comes out with right now.
Oh,
is it going to be nothing?
I don't know. I can't tell. But I'm going to do this May 12th one real quick as he's making his entrance. Kishi and Team Mackinton defeated Jake Manning, Diamonds in the Rough, in a 6-man tag. Mind you, this is on May 12th. 250 fans are in Greensboro, North Carolina. TNA World Heavyweight Champion on the bottom there. D'Lo Brown defeated Raven with special referee Sergeant Slaughter. Jerry Lynn defeated C.W. Anderson. That's a new belt. Dustin Rhodes defeated Bobby Houston, Damian Wayne. Steve Corino defeated Rick Converse. Chris Harris defeated James Storm. In the main event, Daphne defeated Gail Kim with special referee Jackie Moore. That's a new title, right? That's got to be.
Wow.
That is.
I'm getting the sweats.
Kurt Angle. That's the belt you have.
Kurt Angle is wearing my favorite title design maybe ever. I love that TNA Heavyweight Championship that's around his waist. I love this title. The crowd is chanting, "We want Christian."
Whoa.
Now, as your new TNA Heavyweight Champion, oh, it's real. And then Sting's music hits. And now, I didn't quite hear commentary as he was coming out, but as far as I could tell, there was nothing really sad about the NWA thing.
It just sounds like the only thing I heard was like Don said that they're going to talk about it. Or whatever.
Well, here comes Sting.
I mean, I kind of feel like you're sending the message already. Like, hey, we have our own belt. Like, there's not NWA anymore for us.
What's really interesting is, I mean, they must have known this was coming, because to have a title ready that fast is pretty impressive.
Well, here's the thing. When you're worth billions of dollars, you could probably get anything you want in a couple of days.
Well, Sting admits, Kurt Angle, you did make me tap. But the thing is, I had Christian Cage covered, 1, 2, 3. I don't know how long I had him covered, but it seemed like a while.
Not for 3 seconds, dude.
For you to take the title away from the ref and march to the back, like you're the new heavyweight champion. There's a big fat question mark right over, and here comes Christian Cage.
There isn't, dude. You tapped.
Kurt and Sting, you guys pride yourself on doing the right thing. Well, you know something? So do I. Here we stand after sacrifice. Tomko in tow, by the way. They both claim to be the world champion. Christian says, I see it like this. TNA rules state, if there's no clear-cut winner, the title automatically stays with the champion. So technically, Christian should still be the champion then. And the champion is Christian Cage, right?
Be a draw.
That's fair.
No contest.
He said he's going to
He got
scrap
the
the
Lance
title.
Armstrong.
Oh, the
Like-
Live Strong. Oh wait, Jim Cornette's here.
Where the fuck did Cornette come from?
Ooh, he's fixing to screw Christian Cage.
What? Christian actually made a good point.
I know. How can you be mad at that?
I mean, he could be maybe mad because he was proven wrong.
I guess. No, Christian was flat on his back, Cornette says. You are not the World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, so for sure, Christian's not the champion.
Dude, he's gonna hold it up. Because he's gonna be like, Kurt, you aren't either.
Oh, shit. Last Sunday, we're seeing the picture. It was tremendous, but in the end, you tapped out. Sting, you're not the champion. This title belt signifying the best in TNA. Christian, it's not yours. Sting, it's not yours. Kurt, it's not yours either.
Oh my god, Jarrett's gonna win the belt.
Oh, shit. I want someone who stands out, undisputed as the man, the top dog. I want a Moneyball player. Where'd the title go? Did he give it to someone?
I don't know. What?
We need to bring some
What?
new blood into this mix. Like, new blood? New blood? Like Billy Kidman?
I don't know.
Vampiro?
I knew you were gonna say Vampiro. New blood, and he goes
Like
Rhino.
Rhino.
Come on. Samoa Joe.
Oh, come on.
All right, dude. These guys have gotten title matches. He should have been like Jay Lethal. There's no.
Well, there's
glass
not going to be a
ceiling.
glass ceiling in TNA.
So,
Great point by Christian. Everyone they've already mentioned, he has already beaten. He says, well, then you shouldn't have a problem beating him again.
yikes.
Here's the deal. These three superstars. Well, 10 best stars starting tonight for the next 5 weeks until Slammiversary. We're going to have qualifying matches.
Oh,
5 winners of those matches are going to be in the King of the Mountain match. Bob, I like this. The winner of that, there will be a winner of the title at Slammiversary. I like this.
okay. So who do you think are the 5? Kurt, Christian, Sting,
Rhino,
Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Right.
He said those clue and then other 5. Jarrett.
No, I'm saying the 5 that are gonna win.
Oh,
Like,
I
who's
thought we were
be
gonna.
in the King of
I
the
thought we were
Mountain
gonna
at the end of
guess
the day?
who's. Okay, I thought we were gonna guess who's gonna fight.
Well, I mean, I guess we can do that too. So we have these 3, obviously. Rhino and Joe is your 5. Rude.
Rude.
Basically, yeah, we need 5 more. Storm, Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, Jarrett, I guess, could be in there. But if he's dealing with if he's got his wife's sickness, that could be.
But it's in Nashville, so he might be able to at least get a qualifying match in and then be at the show in Nashville.
Right. Eric Young.
Eric Young would be kind of a fun surprise to throw in there, I feel like. Crowd is so behind him, dude.
Oh, and then AJ. AJ Styles would be one.
AJ. There's a lot of good names.
So here's the thing. We list those names, but there's not like it's kind of like repetitive guys.
I know.
We're kind of dealing with.
Harris, I think.
Christopher Daniels is getting interviewed here. We're seeing footage of the chair shot.
Wait,
Open
invitational.
invitational first blood match tonight.
Whoa. Wait, I'm here for this. There's no logic.
There are
There's actions and consequences. Sting understands consequence. JB says, "What does this have to do with Sting?"
Is it because Sting like snubbed him?
It
He's
could be.
pissed.
We're getting a Slammiversary preview video here. Over the next 5 weeks, we're going to be looking at Slammiversary's greatest moments. Oh, dude, there it is, Stomper.
Oh my god.
Okay. TNA mascot.
Stomper with I cannot believe this.
So they're like going with it.
I don't think they make it that long. Okay, so indie notes here. I got one for Chris Sabin. Actually, two, I guess.
So Sabin and Shelley are coming out right now.
On May 5th, Sabin retained the TNA X Division Championship by defeating Jerry Lynn at NWA Midwest No Gimmicks Needed in Streamwood, Illinois. And then on May 12th, Sabin defeated Acid Jazz and Maurice Roquette for WCPW's Battle of the Belts 19 in Cicero, Illinois. And then Alex Shelley on May 11th defeated Low Key, also known as Senshi, at FSM's Chapter 2 in Indiana. And on May 12th, Petey Williams defeated Alex Shelley at TOW's first show, I'm assuming, in Quebec, Canada. Now, Tiger Mask, I don't know why this is a pain in my butt in terms of loading, but he is still actively competing. And I'm sure, you know what? There is one indie note, technically, is that he fought AJ Styles at a IWA Mid-South show.
Yeah, because he's probably doing like a little US tour right now.
Right. Yeah, that would be much what he's doing. I don't know. Guys, I think indie notes are not going to happen for some reason. This stuff is just not loading for me.
That's okay. We can revisit if we need to.
Nothing's loading in my cage match. I think might be down or something.
Oh.
So, you got some indie notes, but not much because I am not going to deal with the headache of it. So, oh well.
Well, we'll catch up next time. Mike today noted that this is the fourth person to wear the tiger mask.
Well, Eddie's one.
I don't know if he counts because it was Black Tiger, though.
Black Tiger, right.
So, technically it's different. I don't know if it can. I don't know.
I don't know either. You know who would know is Austin.
Austin would.
You know who also would know? Cage match, but that shit's down right now.
But it's down, so we can't use it. Lynn and Tiger Mask double teaming Shelley.
Might be working for other people.
I'm trying to see what notes I have. I don't think I have anything related to this match I can tell you, but I do have a couple things. I'll just mention here quick. Conan, he's still dealing with his health situation. And here's an update because there's a kidney donor that RF Video found. That's the only reason. That's the only way I'm saying his name. Put together with Conan in the final stages of testing. So far, everything has come back fine. There are still more tests that need to be done over the next few weeks to see if there is complete compatibility of both men's blood. If it's okay, the surgery would take place in June, and he'd probably be out again for a while after. If not, it's back to square one and searching for a new donor. So, it's good for Conan. And I believe Sabin just launched himself off the back of Shelley to take Jerry Lynn off the apron. Hey, if you want to text TNA to 76,000, TNA Mobile, behind the scenes news and all that fun stuff. By the way, if you're following along with us, we were at 16 minutes and 22 seconds. Might have lost Bob again. I don't know if he can hear me, but we're gonna keep going until I see otherwise. He might pop back up here. Tiger Mask up high. He missed that diving headbutt off the top. Double kicks from Sabin and Shelley on Tiger Mask, and then a double team. And Shelley taking out Tiger Mask. And that's a 3 count. He gets the win. Yes, officially just lost Bob, but we're still here. Shelley and Sabin won the match, handing back the X Division title. Big win over Tiger Mask and Jerry Lynn. Shelley and Sabin going after him. Sabin going after Alex Shelley here. Well, he didn't go after him. He got thrown into him, is what I should say. And now Jerry Lynn is taking him out. Going for the cradle pile driver. Enziguri by Sabin. Now, of course, Sabin and Shelley get the upper hand again. But here comes Bob Backlund. No one's happy that Backlund is doing this, but... And it looks like Shelley and Sabin are getting the upper hand, grabbing the leg of Backlund. Here comes the Black Machismo. Meeting of the minds. Throw both of them head first into each other. Black Machismo has cleared house. He's got a cool new t-shirt on. Him, Backlund, and Jerry Lynn stand tall. I don't know where Tiger Mask went, but... It's been over a month since we've seen. James Mitchell's searching for Abyss's replacement. So Mitchell's talking about wrestling being an uncaring Shark Tank. Those who fail fall for love, honesty, all that kind of stuff. So he shows the show Abyss's mom, which I kind of am surprised we're even showing that, but that was just featured for the love, compassion, honesty part of that. But we're seeing a reminder of Abyss being beaten down. His arms are sliced. Absolutely disgusting. Reptilian-brained killing machine? Who the heck is he looking for?
Oh, is he gonna bring somebody in? Judas Messias 2?
I do have a note about this, but I wanted to wait for it to play out, and that was the end of that. So my note related to this. Now the new monster is apparently at this point scheduled for Jim Mitchell to manage and feud with Abyss. Is Ricky Banderas. Now we've heard his name thrown around quite a bit, and Bob just made a reference to it as well. Now this may be the holdup may be his AAA schedule. Because TNA is having trouble from a momentum standpoint with Tomko because he's often in Japan. So it may be kind of an issue, but we'll see how that plays out. JB's in the back here with Kevin Nash now. And in walks Sonjay Dutt. Did you kick me any harder? My emotions got the best of me. My adrenaline was pumping in my blood. I didn't even mind it. How's Kevin Nash? He's like a father to him. I'm sorry. And he goes to shake his hand in a very... Oh, they're like cupping hands. Oh, Nash pulled them in. Next time I won't be so forgiving. I can't believe the size discrepancy, dude.
Yeah. Sonjay Small. Whoa.
Sting?
Oh,
it's
man.
just
Stinger's coming out. Oh. Sting recently lost a hair versus hair match, and here is Sting.
and he has a bandage on his forehead, but
Well, you could mistake that as just more face paint, I guess.
that's true.
Oh,
if
this
you're
is an
following
open
along,
invitational first blood match.
that's right. If you're following along with us, we're at 21:44.
And if you're like me, that means we have 21 minutes and 5 seconds left in the show.
Wow, we're almost directly in the center of the show. And look at this, Bob. Answering the open challenge is Raven. Oh wait, is it Serotonin? Oh no, it's Raven.
And he's not wearing a t-shirt.
What? If you bleed, you lose.
When is the last time we saw Raven wrestling?
Wrestle? Oh, dude, I don't even know. Let me see.
Maybe what? Bound for... Was he? I don't think he... Oh, was he in the Monsters Ball?
He might have been. Raven's in the ring with the kendo stick, and Daniels has the baseball bat, so Raven's going after him with the stick now.
Oh my god, he's got a freaking screw or something. Yeah, a screwdriver Raven did.
Okay, so... Wait, hold on. Let me just double check before I say this out loud. Okay, so technically, Bob, the last time Raven wrestled was in the Fight for the Right Tournament Reverse Battle Royal.
Oh my god.
But before that, you are correct. It was that Monsters Ball at Bound for Glory.
So, what, the Fight for the Right would be November?
No, or yes, sorry.
Okay, so we're going on...
It aired in November, I think. Yeah.
Rough almost?
Oh, no, it was October 26th, so close enough. But
So November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, 7 months.
look at that screwdriver.
Obviously, he's been doing indies, but for TNA, it's been half a year.
Yeah, but look at the size discrepancy. Daniels looks so little. Oh shit! Raven just STO'd him onto the chair. There is his back of his head busted from that one.
No, well, here's the thing. He literally has a wound on his forehead covered with tape. Why are we not just going for the wound?
Well, Raven's got the jagged edge of a kendo stick he just broke, and he's trying to jam it in the forehead of that open wound there.
This shouldn't even be that hard.
Oh, low blow by Daniels. Do you think if Raven loses this, that Serotonin beats him up?
No. No way. He'll find a way to gaslight them and blame them for his loss.
Well, that's true. Oh, Daniels is taking the sharp edge of one of the pieces that came off that kendo stick and digging into the head of Raven. Oh, Raven's bleeding.
I got him. Oh, that was kind of lame.
Yeah, that was no, that was nothing.
What?
That was weird. Daniels just took the tape off his forehead. Now he's headbutting Raven.
Dude,
is he trying to bust open his cup?
Is Daniels about to steal the Serotonin dudes?
Oh, shit, dude. Well,
Daniels
they're all getting in the ring.
They're circling, or yeah, they've got Daniels. Well, then he bails. Okay.
Wait, they're standing up to Raven. Kaz specifically. Get down, he's telling him.
Oh, dude, you're right. No, they are going to beat him up.
Oh, shit. Raven is down on his knees, and he's going to... Oh, wait. Martyr and Havoc stopped him.
Because Raven has them brainwashed, not Kaz. Dude, cinema. See, it's Kaz's fault.
Could just slap the shit out of Kaz.
Ooh.
Telling him to leave. Kaz does Raven's taunt, and he gets out of the ring.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, Cass doesn't really fit for this anyway.
No. JB backstage with the Stinger. If I had to qualify 3 or 4 times to do it, listen, I'll do it. I've been around the block.
He doesn't understand the rules. One time.
Sting, did you see that? Look, Daniels is back here. Did you see? I'm doing everything just like you told me. You were right. No, I did not tell you to do that. Sting says he's trying to help Daniels, but he doesn't know how to help him. I'm fully committed to this path. Why aren't you? Sting's saying he doesn't know what he's even talking about. Once I was lost, but it seems like right now you were lost. He points to Sting.
Ron.
Okay. Well, we're seeing a video of Robert Roode fighting Jeff Jarrett at Sacrifice.
I follow the path that you told me to follow, Sting.
Here, let me see if I got some notes for you, Bob, for this one. Nothing related directly to these guys. There's a long-term plan here, right? I don't know if we're going to see him, but Lance Hoyt, he's going to be a more established protege of VCAM, and then he's going to turn heel on him.
Of course.
You'll also be glad to know here, as Eric Young is bringing fans onto the ring, that Doug Basham and Damaja are not under contract to TNA at this point.
I'm not
So they're
surprised by that.
just doing some couple shots.
What if WWE re-signed them just like they did Shannon Moore? Remember that?
Oh my god, dude, that was crazy.
Shannon Moore getting arguably the biggest push of his life. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go to the ECW brand.
Yeah, why not?
He jobbed out.
My good friend Jeff Jarrett? Well, that sounds cool, right? My good friend Jeff Jarrett, he's acting all cocky in the ring, fans cheering. Jarrett told Eric Young that you got to believe in yourself and stand up for what's right. Very inspirational words. Eric says he can't thank him enough. Stomper is ringside as well. First and foremost, I got to thank each and every one of you guys.
You're welcome, Eric.
They're chanting thank you to Eric.
They should be chanting, you're welcome.
Make sure you stand up for what you believe in. Okay, they're chanting Super Eric. I honestly thought that they were chanting Super Dragon for a second. Oh, Eric Young says he's a free man. Bob,
No, he's
are we
not.
finally moving past? Oh.
Yeah, no, dude. There we go.
Whoa. Here comes Robert Roode and Ms. Brooks.
There's a name on this contract for employer, and it doesn't say Jeff Jarrett in TNA. It says Robert Roode Incorporated, and I never terminated you, so you're still mine, Eric Young.
You say you're a free man? Because, can't really blame you. You did physically put your hands on me a few weeks ago, so I could fire you. Well, he didn't say that yet. He could take away his professional wrestling, so he's hinting at the fact he's going to fire him.
Yeah,
Gracie's still wearing a neck brace from the guitar shot 2 weeks ago.
you know what? At least she's selling it.
That's true. Oh, he could say, Eric, you're fired.
He didn't, though.
But luckily for you, EY, the rules have changed. What? Because you see, you're still under contract to Robert Roode Incorporated. So, Bob, you pretty much called it. Trici's putting it in his face. talking about how Cornette threatened to sue him over what he's been doing for the past couple months. Okay, he's laying out what we're going to do next. He's not going to take away professional wrestling. He's not even going to fire him. But what I am going to do is give him some advice. I advise you to get yourself a good attorney. Oh shit. He's going to sue him, he says. How does it feel, Eric? I feel the same about this as I do everything else. Oh, he spit on it? Oh, he wiped his butt with it? Okay.
Wiped his ass with it.
I looked down for 2 seconds and I thought he spit on it.
No,
I didn't think he was going to wipe his ass with it.
Oh, those are the fans. I was going to say, who the hell was that?
Oh, that's the new Black Machismo shirt.
Huh. Right. I've had enough. Come on.
Oh, he's pointing at Tracy.
She is a cripple. She has a broken neck.
Oh, Roode from behind. Don't turn your back on the wolf pack. Oh my god, dude.
Stop her. Get in there. Dude, if Robert Roode fucking sells for Stomper.
Who do you think's actually in it? Do you think it's just a nobody?
I think it's Vince Russo. Should
Who
I
he
tweet
done?
him? Hey
No.
man, were you in the Stomper? No.
No.
Who?
Crowd's
that is a
going
good
crazy,
question.
but
Who would be in the Stomper outfit? Do we think it'd be a wrestler?
since he's not getting directly involved, I would say no, but he did just hop off the apron, and I feel like if you don't know what, you could hurt yourself. Okay. So we're getting, I'm guessing, our first main event qualifying matchup here tonight. Because we do one every week. Oh. One of the 2 men qualifying tonight, or who could qualify, it's Kurt Angle, and here he comes. Yeah, we get Kurt Angle main event today, Bob.
So they're not even. Wow. I thought for like Kurt, they would have been like, oh, like next week or something. Maybe get like draw people to it.
Nope,
Who is
nope, here
Who is he gonna wrestle though? Tomko.
It could be something like that, yeah.
James Storm.
Oh,
no!
Announcement of Kurt Angle's opponent. It's coming back after commercial. Okay, we're getting a Slammiversary thing again.
I feel like it's going to be something like somebody that he's obviously going to beat.
I feel like for Kurt, I wouldn't be surprised about that.
I mean, I guess that would probably apply to like everybody.
So, Nashville Municipal Auditorium, they just announced Tracy, Eric Young, and Jeff Jarrett will be at Slammiversary. So, there's your who's selling tickets for you.
Oh, Rhino.
Oh, wow. I mean, I don't know if I thought Rhino was going to make it in anyways, but I'm still kind of surprised this is the match we're getting. The first time ever.
That's not right.
Mike Tenay says, I think for the first time ever.
That's not right. They fought in WWF.
In a singles match?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Kurt may have beaten Rhino for the U.S. title. WCW U.S. title.
Rhino versus
it would have been 2001.
I'm just typing it in Google and see what happens.
In the Alliance.
Oh yeah, they fought.
Yeah, they've definitely fought. Yeah, that's what.
Okay, well, can't.
Tenay's no professor. He's a fraud.
I got a couple notes for you, and since this is the main event, let me just get them out of the way before we get too far into this match. Vince Russo has brought up the idea of bringing Jimmy Rave in, but there's no major movement in that direction. They aren't aware of whether or not he has signed with Ring of Honor.
Oh, he signed with them?
We don't know yet, and that's why they're not sure if they can bring him in. But I do know that you are a big Jimmy Rave fan.
I really like Jimmy Rave, especially around this time. His, I guess like his Prince of Ghana like type of gimmick he's doing with Prince Nana is fantastic. Yeah, no, that's good. I don't know if he would do that character here, but it'd be good.
They're kind of cool. The other two notes are actually other people who are trying to either come back or make their debut now. Although many people have the assumption that Rob Van Dam is going to be coming in. If there are any talks, they are kept very well a secret, but the name seems to not even be being talked about right now.
Is that because what didn't he like just get written off TV?
Yeah, probably
around this time, or like he was about to be.
I do believe he's off by this point because I feel like I remember seeing a note about that. But this is the first like full-fledged in the TNA section note about it. So
EKO here by Rhino, that could do it.
No, it barely got a 2 count. And then my final note, Bob, is that Sean Waltman has a good shot at returning. Now it's not a lock, but it's in the serious discussion standpoint. So we will find out what happens with that.
Well, you know what's funny is well, I'm pretty sure that both those guys do in fact either come in or return, but it's out of our timeline.
I know. It's pretty crazy.
That should give you a warning there. That takes about 3 years.
He's on his way. Rhino just went for the gore, and Kurt Angle sidestepped him. He hit the turnbuckle and got hit with a German suplex on the rebound.
And we're back from commercial.
I think Rhino's going to beat Kurt, dude.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine that?
That'd be insane. Win and you're automatically in the King of the Mountain, and lose and you're out. So these are pretty high stakes matches we're going to be seeing in the main event for the next couple weeks.
Well, yeah, it's pretty cut and dry here. There's two options. Either you win and you're in, or you're losing and you're out. Oh, I thought you were going to tell us what the second match was for next week.
Oh, see, that would be smart if they start advertising who is fighting, or at least one of the people.
I'm saying.
And interestingly enough, we're seeing two of the people they already announced. So we still don't technically know the 5 other people who could be.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't do like the 5 he announced versus the 5 unknowns. These are 2 guys that Cornette said, these are 5 that are going to be in it. And then I'm going to do 5 other ones. So that's kind of fun.
Maybe Damaja and Doug Basham will be one.
Yeah, as like they'll go in, but they'll tie their legs together like a 3-legged race.
No, like one of them will do it, and then one of them will actually get in. Could you imagine you're the winner and the new TNA World Champion, Damaja?
Because he's gonna damage you.
God, the money that is just left on the table is infuriating. German suplex by Kurt.
Released German too. He didn't even hold on. He just threw him. Oh, the straps are coming down on Angle.
He's pissed.
I think Rhino should pull the straps down to do the gore. Olympic slam? No. Countered.
Oh, belly to belly.
By Rhino. Oh, he set up for the gore.
He's setting up. Can he do it, though?
Oh, a knee to the head. Olympic slam.
Oh, right in the middle. 1, 2. A clean job. Wow.
I like that finish.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kurt Angle moves
Kurt,
on.
Kurt should be winning this match clean anyway, so that's fine.
Oh, right. I just like the knee into the Olympic Slam. I think that was a good.
Yeah, it was
little
good. That was a good setup.
Okay, wait. We're heading back to. Oh, so we might find out match for next week. Letitia's with Jim Cornette. Oh, hell yeah. Who is it going to be? If you think Kurt Angle and Rhino was something, wait till next week. It's going to be Sting versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. The Steiners. Wait. Steiner says next week we want Team 3 in the ring. The Steiners versus Team 3D next week? Oh, they broke off Cornette's door. That's
Rick.
Whoa.
Yeah, Rick
Whoa.
tore this door up, and he said sorry before leaving.
We're getting our adrenaline rush package here.
That's
Bob, Team 3D versus the Steiners and Sting versus Samoa Joe. We're trying to pop a rating, brother.
Joe loading it up next week. Sting and Joe for the first time ever. What is with doing first time ever things just on Impact for the fun of it? Well, I mean, I guess
it's crazy. Look, we even get a match card graphic for the qualifying match. I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I would say that was a decent overall episode.
I think so too. Yeah, I agree. I'd give it a thumbs up. Besides the first blood match situation, I think the rest of the show is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. I guess maybe I did expect a little bit more from that match, and I didn't really get it, but that's okay. Not everything has to be a 5-star classic on Impact because it's a TV show, so it's fine.
No, and I mean, and then it's setting the stage for. I think what they're telling us here is that Kaz is going to break away,
which that needs to happen. So I am fine with that.
Yeah, that's definitely the right decision. I mean, he really shouldn't have been in the group to begin with.
Right.
So yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, not bad. I'm looking forward to next week. Bob, what an adventure it was. The Discord era is off to a okay start.
Well, my internet shit the bed.
It's okay. We lost you. We got you back. It's edited seamlessly if I don't forget how to do it.
People will never know.
You'll never know.
I'm just saying that it fucked us up. Craig has been a loyal partner. He's remained quiet.
Dude, time. Shout out Craig, man. TNA Craig. You know, I really appreciate him being here. He's like our mascot. He's our stomper, Craig.
That's right. Craig. That's perfect timing. Craig is our mascot.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, that wraps up this week's episode. We are now 4 weeks away from Slammiversary, and that means we have 4 more qualifying matches for King of the Mountain. Of course, we know that Kurt Angle is in. And next week, we will find out whether it will be Samoa Joe or Sting. So be sure to join us next week as we continue on with the rewatch of TNA since day 1. So until next week, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Cross the Line podcast.